Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
I don't know if you can see just what the Rangers really mean to me. These last few years I've been afraid that we might drift away. So I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where we came from. That's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Marvin Andrews said keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing. We remember Gaza with great affection, the day the helicopter changed direction. Jemmy Baxter, he was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
I have been lucky in those who were around me from the boardroom to the dressing room. In times of stress, their unstinted support, unbroken devotion to our club, and calmness in adversity eased the task of making Rangers Football Club the premier club in this country. To be a Ranger is to sense the sacred trust of upholding all that such a name means in this shrine of football. They must be true in their conception of what the Ibrox tradition seeks from them. No true Ranger has ever failed in the tradition set him. Our very success, gained you will agree by skill, will draw more people than ever to see it, and that will benefit many more clubs than Rangers. Let the others come after us. We welcome the chase. It is healthy for us. We will never hide from it. Never fear. Inevitably, we shall have our years of failure, and when they arrive, we must reveal tolerance and sanity. No matter the days of anxiety that come our way, we shall emerge stronger because of the trials to be overcome. That has been the philosophy of the Rangers since the days of the gallant pioneers.
Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening is our AK, and we started the show completely different. It's maybe time to pull together. People have different opinions, but we have got a match on Sunday that we want to win, right or wrong, players good or bad. Let's pull together before the game starts, at least. AK.
Brilliant, Ox. Brilliant. Brilliantly put together. Words were poignant. The tune was poignant. But aye, welcome to Rangers Radio. Everybody that's listening, the techie team. Hope we have a good show.
Yes, emotions are running high, AK. People get different opinions, as I said, entitled to their opinions, and it's not a good time for us. The start of the season has been a disaster for in any times. Tinted with some positives, mate. I mean, it was a tricky time. Panathinaikos, we get through, fortunately, and we get through against Pilsner, who are not the worst team I've ever played in Europe. Yeah, they weren't the best team I've ever played there, but we get through, and then we've came unstuck. But I think all the pressure has came because of the domestic results, mate, as well. Yeah, and obviously the actual scoreline in Wednesday night was hard to take, deserved, but hard to take. And was there a surprise because of the number of chances we've gave up? But we've debated all that, we've talked about it, and we have to turn our attention. Of course, if any of our callers want to come on, AK, they're entitled to say what they think. So we've got a big game on Sunday, and it always means a lot. I'm not saying it'll cure everything, but it could help. It could help. It could help with domestic season take off. Now, that doesn't matter if we've got this manager and our manager or whatever. It could help the domestic season take off, mate. So I'm hoping we get a result, as we do all the time against that mob. AK.
Oh, absolutely. Your words are poignant there as well, Ox. Well said. Listen, we know we've been through it, we've talked through it, we've bashed ourselves up because we don't like what we're seeing, blah, blah, blah. But we've got a chance to reset on Sunday, as you say. A victory against them could spark your entire season, could change the course of where we're heading, because we're heading to oblivion now. But if we get a victory against them, we're 3 points behind them. All the business is just about being done then when that window shuts on Monday, and all of a sudden we could gather a bit of momentum. We're trying to obviously appear positive, but
you used the word there, mate. Could. Yeah, we're not saying it will. We're not naive, yeah. You know, I can only speak to myself. I'll not speak for you, but I know I'm not a fool. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, aye, a fool. Aye, listen, it is what it is. We need to regroup, we need to regather. I think a lot of the songs that we played there, it sparks memories of the players that we used to have playing for us, and it reminds us of the winning times, lifting trophies, lifting leagues. We've been in doldrums for the best part of the last 10, 15 years, and it's heartache watching our club be in the mess that it is, you know. But as you say, unity, there's strength in unity with our support. Our support seemed to be unified, you know, but knowing a positive manner, shall we say, with our manager. But all of that could change with a victory against them on Sunday.
I don't think it'll change people's minds, mate, if I'm honest. There's a term being used. I knew a retired gaslighter once, but this seems to be a new modern term, you're gaslight. I'm not going to gaslight anybody. I don't think it will change people. If we won well, mate, I still don't think it will change people's minds. Yeah, because some people's was made up before a ball was kicked. And some of the stuff we've said has been proved right with some of the statements were made before. I think people have made up their mind, mate. But for the club, it's got to be a positive. And we want to get gone domestically because it's important. And obviously, you then get into an international break. We've not got that many players away in international duty. So we'll maybe get a chance for a reset and maybe come back with more energy, because we're not even playing with energy, mate. They actually look knackered. I think the mental pressure so early in the season has affected some of these guys, because they've never played at this level, mate. They've never played, and maybe there's a learning curve for a recruitment there, mate, what we have to do, because we need to learn to get men in, no boys. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. You can be a man in a football park. Wayne Rooney was a man at 16. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Ali McCoy's words during the week there were very poignant as well. When he spoke about, we look what wee boys out there, we're bringing on wee boys, and we'll get wee boys in the team. And the commentator picked up on him. They actually said that the Bruges team was actually a younger team than ours, but the difference is the stature of the player, the physique of the player, the will, they want to win. You know, a lot of their boys in their team, particularly their back line, had come through their academy.
Whole back four, mate. The whole back four.
Absolutely, which is credit to the Amox. They've obviously got a really good structure and criteria in their club, and it's their club is thriving. That's where we want to get to, in essence. But we're having to, kickstart, pull the plug out in the computer and let it reboot and start again. The way he's going about it is debatable, and that's where a lot of the criticism's coming from. But our eyes don't know why. We know what we're watching, and we don't like what we're watching. So the supporters are entitled to their opinion. Of course, you're probably talking about 99% of the support don't want a manager there. But the more important, the owners want him there, and it appears to be that they're going to back him short term anyway, whether we like it or not.
Yeah. Listen, there'll be conversations we're not party to. I've not enjoyed the football, mate. I don't enjoy the shape. I've critiqued it often. And I'll say it again. Stephen Warnock, after the last game against Bruges, the first game, highlighted it, how we gave the wings away and how narrow we are. And it was the same on Wednesday night, mate. And it gives me the fear. I don't like the way we play with the ball at the back. I know it's a modern trend, mate. And then we play it up the channels. It's everybody knows exactly what we're going to do. Puts the personnel, and we're always struggling. Because how I think that AK is, we don't get the ball up the park enough. But that's because we're easy to stop, because we're so predictive with this system. And if something's not working, you've got to be man enough to admit it, mate. And therein comes some of the pressures that is abounding on our manager, mate. Yeah, because you have to Warburton keep doing the same thing. If it's not working and teams are stopping you. No, you need to have more one string in your ball. Pep, for all his faults, mate, would do certain things at certain times, tweak things. You know, obviously he's got a foundation of a style, but you're at a different level, mate. A different level with billions being spent, literally billions.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to fund it and do something to be successful at a certain level. A different calibre of professionals we're bringing in, mate. And that's no slighting anybody, because you can go to the top point for our club if you get it right. And there's standards and basics that we expect, and we haven't seen them, but we want it to start on Sunday, AK.
Oh, 100%, mate. 100. I mean, he actually said it in his interviews just when he was announced. It was all the buzzwords and everything, you know, all the cliches, everything that you wanted to hear. But he also spoke about winning. You must win. Well, we've not won enough. We've played 10 games so far and we've only won 3. So he must know himself that things aren't the right. But you said yourself there, he's got to be man enough to admit that things aren't the right. The players aren't comfortable or playing to instruction. So you've got to adjust it. For me, we're too easy to play against because we've become predictable. This high line that we're playing through, it's cost us a couple of goals. It's cost us a couple of red cards as well, because we're putting so much pressure on the defence for stopping a goal and the breakaway. The whole team just doesn't look comfortable. It looks congested in areas of the park where we need players to have grass in the front of them. where Gossamer and Ant-Man were running into space, and all that space is getting killed because of the system. So things need to change for the better. But it starts on Sunday with hopefully a victory against Celtic.
Yes. And people will be feeling apprehensive, nervous, not looking forward to that game. I fully understand that. But once the teams are in the tunnel, I would imagine the usual emotions will come back when you see that jersey that you don't like, mate. Yeah?
Oh, aye. Oh, that should be instilled in them. But that's also a part of the problem. We don't have enough players in there that you don't even look at them, you don't shake their hand, you don't interact with them at all. We could be doing with probably more, Scottish-based players in there, Northern Ireland-based players, you know what I'm saying. But let's not forget Celtic are in a good place as well. They've just had one of the most humiliating defeats in their history as well, with the minnows for Kazakhstan, 3,500, well, was it 7,000 round trip? So,
there's 271 places between them and Bruges, mate.
Aye, I know. We get humiliated in the scoreline and the amount of goals we conceded. They get humiliated because they get beat with a team that's ranked 311 in the UEFA ranking. So they're not in a good place either. They're vulnerable, and there's a wee bit of apprehension in their ranks. So it's who wants it most, isn't it? It's make yourself difficult to lose goals against and take your opportunities when they arise. We've not made enough opportunities. You keep saying, Ox, and our back door's not exactly been shut closed either. So
I'll leave you to that. You're the expert on that, mate.
Another scurrilous rumour, you.
Well, you've got to pick your words wiser than that, mate. You know what I mean?
I thought I did.
Right, what we'll do is we'll hear from our manager, yeah? And then we'll get the phone lines open, mate, yeah?
Yeah, never.
All right, so let's hear from the manager.
Russell, you spoke about a lack of harmony after the defeat on Wednesday. What sort of response have you had from your team since then? Does it feel a bit more harmonious going into Sunday's game?
We've had a lot of conversations, as a group, individually, players, staff. Good conversation, but now it's just time for action. So we can talk as much as we want, train as well as we want, but now we have to make sure we deliver a performance on Sunday. You
also said there could be some players that leave the club before the window shuts. Is there any update on the likes of Nico Raskin or Cyril Dessers?
No, I think the club will update you as and when, or the same as if we sign any players, the club will update you as and when that becomes anything.
Is Nico Raskin in the squad for Sunday?
I think everyone's here, everyone's available, and the squad and the team will be picked on what we think is the best way to win a game.
So just for clarity, Nico trained today and
Nico is in training today.
Yes, and he's in the squad for Sunday?
I've just said to you, the whole squad is here, things can change, transfer window's open, so I can't tell you anyone's going to definitely be in the squad or not.
Russell, you said that after the match in Bruges the other night that you had the support of Kevin and Patrick. Have you had any conversations with the owners like Andrew and Parag since that match?
Yeah, I've spoken to Andrew, yeah.
Was that in terms of getting support from them, or?
Yeah, just an honest conversation. It has been from day one, so nothing's changed. I didn't get any different feeling from them. They've been great and really supportive, and he'll be at the training ground tomorrow as well, which was planned already, so I look forward to seeing him.
Do you feel any extra sense of importance in this match with regards to your position?
No, I think this game is always going to be important for anyone. So it's our fourth league game. The manner of defeat makes everything feel terrible. We've qualified for Europa League. We have a chance to put things right on Sunday. All focus is on that after Wednesday night, and now it's about responding properly.
Can I just follow up on a Nico Raskin question?
You'll get exactly the same answer, honestly.
How would you describe your relationship with him?
I would describe my relationship with all the players, all the staff, as honest, open, and I don't think you can have anything else apart from that.
Would you say there's a breakdown in that relationship?
There's not a breakdown in any relationships here. If it's honest and open, there can't be a breakdown in any relationships.
There we go. Russell, you're just saying you've got to put things right at the weekend. Do you feel that a victory, given the the importance of the game, that could be a turning point in your season?
Yeah, I think there's a huge opportunity to put it right. We're all disappointed and frustrated with the start, fans, supporters, players, all of us. I'm frustrated with things at the moment. But as I've said before, it's really early on in the season, the league season. We can go 3 points behind them on Sunday, and it makes everything feel very, very different. So we have to make sure we put in a performance and get the result that we want. It's as simple as that, and then it gives us something to really build off into the break.
We know how much this game means to the club and to the fans. Do you feel that if you do win that, you get it down to 3 points, that fans can start to come back on side?
Yeah, I think the only way you get fans back on side is by winning football matches. As simple as that. And there's no better game to win than this game on Sunday. How much it means to everyone, one of the biggest games in the world. I mean that in terms of interest and how much it means to the people involved. And that's the brilliant thing about football. After a disappointment in midweek, you have an opportunity to put things right and prove ourselves right. The players prove themselves right. They're good players. To prove the work that we're doing right. It's not about proving people wrong. We're not working against our fans. I'm not working against our supporters. It's about making sure we do ourselves justice and the players show their worth, the shirt. They really want to be here. They have the desire to win. So it's all about Sunday now, and that's the brilliant thing about football. You have an opportunity to put things right and to make things feel very different again.
Just one more on transfers. I won't go into specific players, but do you have a number of players you want in, you want out? Is it fluid? Is it up to...
Yeah, I don't think there's no set number. So, the club will update you as and when we've done something, but there's obviously things going on behind the scenes. I think every club in the last few days of transfer window, you have to spin a few plates. But yeah, I think we're still looking to strengthen the squad, and we will do.
Russell, it must feel at times like everything and everyone is against you. What gives you the strength to kind of carry on, especially when you hear the fans the other night? What gives you the kind of strength?
Yeah, I don't think that this job isn't for the timid, so I knew that when I took it. And as I said, we could have chosen a different job that was probably a bit easier in terms of the demands and the noise that comes with it. But it's just not my job to speculate or worry about what people outside here think. My job is to worry about what the people in here think, to work with them every single day as much as we can, and to be really clear on what we want and really demanding of the players and the staff, and to trust the work that we do. So it's got me in this position in the first place. I now can't be influenced or swayed by outside noise. And also, when you grow up and have to experience many, many tough things, you realise a bit of perspective, and you have a bit of perspective and gratitude that means actually this is football. It means so much to everyone, but there's a lot of tougher things to endure. So, as I said, this job isn't for the timid. We give it everything, and I'm enjoying it. Might surprise you to say that, but I am. We are. And now we have to make sure that we win as many games as we can.
See, just in terms of players coming in, is there any chance that somebody could come in and be available for Sunday?
I think there's a chance of everything over the next few days. There might be some stuff really late, there might be some stuff done earlier, but we're planning with the squad that we currently have, and if that changes, then great. If not, we're ready and we're happy with the squad we have.
So when you come into this club as a player in 2018, you're an experienced guy, you're 32 years old, 400 and odd games, Scotland International. You knew exactly what was required. Do you see that same kind of mental fortitude when you look around the group you've got, or is it still developing? So
I think it's still developing. I think some players can have a difficult start to their career, and I speak to some of the guys that are now classed as legends of the club and had amazing careers here that had to endure a really tough start at this club because they didn't hit the ground running straight away. It surprises people, the enormity of it, because it's so different. The old firm is so different, it's so unique, the challenges it brings playing for this football club, the expectation, the size of it. Until you get here, sometimes you don't understand it, and so I think some players you have to be patient with, and they have to grow through that difficult start, that difficult period. We've got players in the squad now. Some of the conversation we had this week have spoke about their own tough starts here, and how you have to really fight and dig in to overcome that. And I've got players that we are convinced will do that. So it is only a start, it's very early on, and we have to help them grow through that and make sure that they have the capacity, the fight, the fortitude to overcome that and really get through it, because if you do get through it, it'll be the best thing you do. The best thing you do, it's the same as us as a group. We have to come together and we have to work through this period and make it really worthwhile, the pain we've gone through.
Russell, one of the most worrying things from Bruges during the week is, and the fans feel that it looked like the players had given up. You seen your reaction on the bench when you looked almost disbelief, especially in the period just before half time. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, so the players are not. The previous games, I said to you, they've ran so much, so hard, but we don't respond well enough to disappointment in a minute. It's really difficult. I've been involved in games like that as a player where it just feels almost like everything is going wrong and you need to get in and have a little reset. So a bit more leadership on the pitch, which we have to enable and help them with, will help us for sure. But as I said, Tuesday's gone, it's done. Wednesday, whenever it was, it's been a long week, but it's done. We move forward and now it's all about Sunday and making sure that it's a very, very different game and a different feeling.
Russell, sorry to go back to the Raskin situation, but I'm intrigued as to why you won't give a yes or no answer whether he's in the squad.
Because I don't know yet. I don't know the squad. I don't know how people train, I don't know how they feel. So we'll wait and see. I don't think I've ever named a squad this early before a game. We're 2 days before a big game, so that's it.
So there's nothing unusual about this?
No. I've answered about 5 questions on it already, I think.
Yeah, but this is the first time you've given a kind of yes or no answer, or not a yes or no answer.
I've just told you the answer.
Can you name a few things that have actually improved here on your watch?
Well, I have to just go with what the staff have said, but it's a conversation between me, the players and the staff. They feel certain things have improved. We still have a lot of things to work on. It's very early on, so we just have to keep striving for it.
You say certain things have improved. Could you give us an example of what has actually, specifics have actually improved?
Well, you'd have to ask people in the building.
Alan, please. Winning while implementing such great changes is difficult. Are you concerned about the impact on young players like Jayden and Othello this might be having, being thrust into these kind of situations such as on Wednesday?
I think professionally it can be of amazing benefit to them long term with their character and who they are as people. Personally, I think it will hurt them and be a big test for players, whether they're experienced and played hundreds of games or they're really young lads coming into it. Having to deal with something like that and the response and what comes after it. But as I said, it's nothing worthwhile having is without some sort of pain. So for them individually and us as a group, we have to make sure it's all worthwhile and we can really start that process by making sure we overcome that by putting in a really good performance and winning the game on Sunday.
Last 2 guys.
Hi Russell, against Bruges you didn't make a good start. Are you concerned about the atmosphere in the stadium if you weren't to make a good start on Sunday?
No, I said to you, it's not about what happens, it's about our response to it. So we have to make sure we start the game properly. If we have a difficult moment in the game, we have to make sure we respond to it properly. And then it's up to us to make sure the crowd feed off our energy and we give them something to really feel energised about. So we have to put in a performance that does that.
Final question.
Where does this week lie in your own career in terms of challenges and adversity and tough moments?
Yes, it's difficult to have a result like that. And so it has been tough, but also you have to take a step back and look at it and see, like, you have to feel it, really feel it, which you do, but then you can't let it affect what you do next. So how do we respond to it properly? What's the best way to pick up the group? What's the best way to prepare for the next game? But not without just brushing over this one. We have to really learn from it and make sure we understand. So the process remains the same. I think the noise is the loudest I've ever had to deal with as a coach or a player, but you have to accept that being here, and I knew it was going to be the case. So that is what it is. It doesn't affect the work. We have to be really driven and focused on Sunday now, and it's really as simple as that.
Very final one, Gabs.
In moments of such adversity though, is it disappointing then when you had the kind of public comments from Nico Raskin's dad that come into a public domain when you're trying to create this sense of togetherness?
I think everyone has an opinion, yeah. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, supporters, players, families, all of that. So I just can't let it come into our realm, and we're working, and that's all. It's be focused on Sunday to win the game.
Super quick.
Just on Celtic themselves, what do you expect from Celtic on Sunday?
I think the same as you would expect in an Old Firm game at any point. Whatever's happened before, I think goes out the window. It's all about Sunday and who handles the occasion best and who's done their work and who's prepared. And we have to make sure we focus on ourselves and make sure we're ready for that.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, thanks for that, Fox. Old School Blue. He sounded a wee bit deflated. Would that be fair? And understandably as well, yeah.
Aye. You're right. He would have to be inhuman if he wasn't feeling deflated after that lesson we had during the week at Rocks. But I don't know. Is he feeling that it's getting too much for him? But and he's just putting a brave face on that. See, the only thing, Ox, that I would say, and this happened with Clement and other managers before him as well. See, when things aren't going right, do you not think like Kevin Thelwell or somebody should be there supporting him and giving a wee bit of moral support in front of all the journalists they sell?
Listen, mate, you go into the profession with your eyes wide open, mate, yeah? You take the manager's job or head coach's job as we keep being told for us, manager. But the difference is, I don't really know, mate. But you have to take the good and the bad, and you have to face up when it's gone bad. But you have to be smart on your answers, no, and no give them any sound bites. No, all bears get a saying about a pile on, and you can see it there. People they're trying to load questions for a story. Is there a story in the Raskin thing? Can Nico Raskin control what his dad puts on social media? Of course he can. Is it right that his dad done that? Maybe no, and you don't get it that often. But nobody's, you can't be responsible for what another adult thinks and does, can you? You know, and
no,
that's what's happened. You know, and was he right? Maybe he was, but that's a whole different debate, mate. No, I think, to be honest with you, mate, you take the shilling, you've got to face up to the responsibility it comes with, mate. If I'm being honest, I'll give you my point of view, and that doesn't mean it's right, AK.
No, it's your opinion, Ox. I respect that, mate. I just feel that it could be doing with somebody up there just to kind of, deflect the kind of question away from, or no deflect, but support him a wee bit more up there, because he's getting all these questions fired at him there. And Clement, as I say, was the same, except we didn't have an infrastructure there to even support Clement for a good length of his term there. But that Alison McConnell that asked that question, she's PLZ, and she's got no ulterior motive there because of the team that supports. And your Irish man, Tom English, is the exact same. So they've been mischievous with a lot of the questions that they're asking.
The other thing I know is they have to understand, and it's also up to the club who they give the questions to. Yeah?
Yeah.
You know,
and the content.
It's difficult to fight against the press, mate, as we've discovered in the past. And Mr. Fox was a great advocate of the ban of the BBC and press wasn't a good thing. Not that he didn't agree that we were getting a raw deal, but they've always got the last word, mate. And they've always can control the narrative in the media, mate. So you're fighting against that, rightly or wrongly, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. And by the way, you'll have supporters out there actually supporting the questions as well, and quite like to ask them, So it's we have an idea of where they're coming from. It's not trying to protect Russell Martin in any way, because as you say, he's getting paid well enough. He's a figurehead of the club. He should be prepared to answer them. He just sounded a bit spiky there with a lot of his answers.
Aye, man. Right, come and join us, give your thoughts. Are you looking forward to the game on Sunday? Are you apprehensive? That'll be... I get it, mate, because it's been a bad combination of no scoring goals and giving up chances. So I would say, for that reason alone, most of the support will be apprehensive, mate. And I understand that because the statistics bear that out, mate, yeah.
Aye, listen, our forum's no good. We know what we're watching. I think I suppose you would call it blind faith a bit, that we've got it in us, to turn up. But that was in teams of old that actually failed us in a lot of these games. But we just don't know what we're going to expect, and I think that uncertainty comes with the anxiety, that the apprehension that the support have got there. They're not coming there with any sort of expectations. They're coming there with hope, and that's a new one for us. But we would just hope that these players find something in them to raise them, their game, and fill the jersey and represent us with honour, distinction, and everything that goes with it. Show a bit of character, That's what we're kind of looking for.
Aye. Listen, it's difficult to understand that how the wheels have come off so quickly, mate. And I didn't. I think the pressure has came for the domestic forum. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of flack with that game in Wednesday night, but when was it? 4 minutes or something? When was the red card? It was something ridiculous, wasn't it? It was so early, wasn't it?
Aye, we lost a young Megoma, get booked 3 minutes. We lost a goal 5 minutes, and the red card was at 8 minutes.
Aye, so
it was a terrible start.
Aye, apart from that, it was all right, wasn't it? So there we go. We're playing with 10 men against a decent side. They'll give teams problem. I'm not saying Bruges are going to win the Champions League, but they've developed themselves a decent outfit there. A young, physical, fast, organised team with some sprinkled with some decent players, mate. There's some decent footballers in that team, yeah. Who might leave Bruges and go to bigger and better things, because they've got a style about them and a panache that we are lacking at the moment. Yeah, we're lacking in what we have been. I think there's been a lot of honesty. You don't get people saying that it's good when it's bad. But we know we've been bad. We've been bad all season, if we're honest. Pre-season, Pilsner. We'll say Pilsner, we played all right, but one game in 10, mate, it doesn't mean you're on the right track. But hopefully Sunday's a springboard. Hopefully, mate.
Well, you've got the opportunity, and Russell Martin said that there. The good thing about playing at the big club and the big games, you've got an opportunity. You can't dwell on it too long, to turn things round about, or at least make a start to turn things round about. I think you're right. I don't think it's going to change a lot of people's minds about them, even if we do get the victory.
Mind, mate. I've got my main thoughts on it. Yeah.
Aye, absolutely. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. When I heard Jim, first time caller, come on, pick up the phone and give his viewpoint, and that's his prerogative to come out there and back his manager, because see the essence his call, he just wants his team to win. Get back on that, because we're fed up with the doom and gloom.
I had a hat on last night. I had a doffed it to Jim, mate.
Hi.
Oh, we've been joined by Lisa. Evening, Lisa.
Hi.
How you
Good
doing?
evening.
Hi there. Good evening.
First time calling, are you?
I know I've been listening. I've been listening for a while, but I'm just so disappointed over the last football match on Wednesday that I am hopeful, really hopeful for Sunday, but I'm just wondering what you think.
Do you know, see the football match on Wednesday, it hurt a lot because obviously we don't want that.
Devastated.
I'm not going to use that. Do you know why? I was surprised, especially as soon as the sending off happened, that what the outcome was. Because the way we play and how we have been playing. We go in with expectations and you go and try and be positive. But if we're honest, we've not looked like a side all season. And I'm not saying the scoreline was near a surprise, but the way the game went was near a total surprise. I'm more devastated about the collection rather than just that individual. Now, that individual performance could be up there with one of the worst, but when you put it in the collective start of the season, that's what's giving me the concern, not just that one-off match on Wednesday night. But yeah, Alec, no, AK.
Aye, good evening, Lisa. Thanks for your call.
Hiya. Hi.
Hiya, pal. Aye, listen, if we're honest, we always kind of feared that Bruges, being a quality team, you know, you're up against quality opponents, more clinical in front of goal. We knew we were going to concede chances. We know we're not creating a lot of chances or scoring goals. I mean, I was at the home game at Ibrox. I seen firsthand how good they were, and for me, they kind of put their foot off the pedal when they went 3-0. That could have been 5 or 6 that night. You know, so when they're at home and they've got a boisterous, vociferous crowd behind them, they're just going to be better. And it turned out to be that. I mean, we capitulated really just before half-time. I heard Billy on the show last night to say once we went down to the 10 men so early in the game's out of reach. See, when the second goal, or even the first goal, second goal goes in, just shut up shop, you know, and don't make it an embarrassment for the thousands that came and watched. And I think that's how we all felt. But when we're going in there at 5-0, and it could have been double that if it wasn't for Jack Butland. Nah, it was an embarrassment there. And I think everybody felt it, but none more so than the support at actually out in Belgium as well.
Yeah, mate, everybody's suffering.
I'm just desperately hoping that we'll get there on Sunday.
Aye. I think
Honestly,
there's a responsibility of the manager to try and pick the right personnel. Now, we don't know what's involved with people moving and leaving the club. We don't know the ins and outs of that. But, you know, when we seen the team in Wednesday night, that group of players are hardly ready for an SPL game, never mind a step up against a decent Champions League team we've qualified for. I think it's 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9 now Champions Leagues. You know, so they're
7 out of 8.
Is it 7 out of 8?
Right.
You know, so we have to start getting right domestically, and this will be one of our biggest challenges domestically. And we've been really poor at the start of the season against Motherwell, Dundee, and St Mirren. You know. What's your own take on it all, Lisa? What you hoping happens on Sunday, and what personnel would you play? Would you play Tav? And if Nico Raskin's available,
yeah.
Would you play them? What's your take on it?
Play.
Would you play them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. AK, obviously that's sort of some of the story online and offline about they seem to be making the headlines. And you know, if you compare the two players that they've come in for, if you Rothwell and Aarons, mate, you know they don't look a patch. And James Tavernier with the best years behind them, and Nico Raskin with his best years in front of him. They don't look a patch, the two players that have come in. At the moment, you know, they could prove us wrong, and people have said that. But at the moment, they don't look close to the two boys that's come in.
No, I agree, pal. And again, your eyes don't deceive you. You know what you're watching, and you see the games where he's bringing on Tav, and he is making a difference. Because that's Tav's been in the club a long time. He knows the standards, he knows the expectations of the crowd, and he can see it's not working out there, and he's trying his hardest to make a positive impact. But there's a lot of fragility about that dressing room with expectations, whether they can fill the jersey. As soon as it starts to turn, they're hearing the boos and the jeers. And you've got to, I mean, you've spoken about it before. There's a lot of young players that he's brought up to the club, and they'll not be used to that scrutiny. I mean, he's a young manager himself, and it just looks as if it's a chemistry for disaster, to be honest with you, what we're seeing in it. You just hope something sparks them, though, eh? But it's hope rather than expectation.
And else you want to ask, Lisa?
No, Thank you very much, both of you, for taking my call. That was really kind of you.
Oh, no, not at all. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you.
Thank you very much.
What are you hoping for on Sunday, result-wise? What are you hoping for?
I think it'll be 3-1 to Rangers.
Oh, Lisa, you'll do for me. You'll do for me.
Or you can come back. Although you gave them one, Southside will not be happy.
Cheers, Lisa.
Southside, oh, why is he not on tonight?
Oh, I don't want to go there. It wouldn't be proper, would it?
All right, okay. Or is he working
Lisa,
somewhere
how
else?
long you? Lisa, can I ask how long you've been listening? You listen YouTube, I believe.
Probably about 5 years.
Ah, good
right,
stuff then.
Just when I left school.
Yeah, probably when you left primary school.
Cheers, Lisa. Cheers, Lisa. We'll pass on your regards to Southside. That'll make his night.
All right, no bother. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Lisa.
Right, bye-bye.
He's going to kill you.
Join the queue.
You know, aye, listen, she's hoping, and I get it. We're all hopeful, mate. But you can't talk about. You can hope for the future, but you can only critique the past, mate. Yeah. And the past is meant to teach you. That's what history is all about: learning from it and try to affect the future. And I hope our coaching staff take that into account, mate.
Absolutely. I mean, it comes down to stature of your players that you're bringing into the club, stature of your manager, listening to the instructions, whether you believe in them or not, and carrying them out to the best of your ability. At the moment, what we're seeing, it's no good. So I get all the apprehension and the negativity. We're no stupid. We're no blind. I've never went into an Old Firm game believing we can't win, even when with Cassini as our manager.
Oh, mate, you've got to think of that multi period in 2018, mate. Yeah, you know. I think we've been joined by Jimmy. Evening, Jimmy. How we doing, mate?
Hi, good evening, lads. Thanks for taking my call.
Hi, Jimmy.
Good to hear from you, mate. Good to hear from you. Right, I'm just gonna pass the floor to you, Jimmy. I'm gonna let you have your say, mate, and I'm sure you've got a bit to say, mate. Yeah, get it off your chest.
Well, obviously we're not in a good position, but a lot of the fans seem to think that we've been in a good position recently. We've not been in a good position for years. I can go back. I mean, I've been going to watch the Rangers since I was, for over 60 years now. Since the age of about 8, I started going to follow them on a regular basis. And there's only one period of sustained success in that whole time. So when you listen to the fans now and what they're talking about, it's as if they think that we've been some brilliant team. Unfortunately, the mob for the East, it's been a one-horse race for years and years, with few exceptions. We had intermittent success with Wallace, Waddle, these kind of people. But apart from, obviously, 55, but apart from when it all started with like Sakai Johansson scored in the replay, and that broke the mould, and that set us off for a wee bit, and then it just all fell away again. And they've dominated, sadly. But it all has to start again somewhere, and it will start again. We will come back. This guy that's the manager, he's way out his depth, like, you can see that in the interviews. But there wasn't a queue of people waiting to take on the Rangers job. We used to go and get the likes of Souness, people that we wanted. Even Davy White, they got him, which wasn't a great success. But we went and got the people. We never said, right, who's wanting the job? And 2 or 3 people actually applied. And out of that 2 or 3, there's probably only 1 or maybe 2 that had a chance of getting it. And that's how Russell Martin arrived. That's how Bale arrived. Obviously, Gio had the history and all the rest of it. Gerrard took to get the job. But we've not been the club that we used to be. And we're about 1,000,000 miles away from that club for various reasons. The days of where everybody sang for the same hymn sheet and they all looked the same and we're all blue noses, sadly, the days will never ever come back again. So you're relying on good professionals that's want to play and want to make a career in the game and want to go on. But the Rangers have just been a soft touch now for a long, long time, where you'll get a contract, you'll get money, and you don't really need to do much because the expectation levels is pretty non-existent. And then the manager guy, you know, he's protected by a recruitment guy, a CEO guy. They've all got somebody that's protecting them. They've all got barriers in place now where you never used to have that. So we're being exploited in every way, shape and form. And the guy's interviews, the guy obviously realises that there's a chance he's going to get pumped, a good chance. So he's not going to say anything. He's looking at the big payout, the same as they all look at the big payout, get the money and then say, well, on you go and see what happens. And we can't keep changing and going round and round. I mean, as well as this guy, I'd be looking at that guy that came from Man United and that guy that came from Everton, because the recruitment's been shocking. And the recruitment's been shocking for years. Because we're in a market where it's players that nobody else wants, or else players that's got a story attached to them. So we get them. And we're just inheriting problems. We're inheriting people that's got a bit of potential. There's none of them that's bad football players because you don't get anywhere near professional football and you don't get anywhere near Ibrox unless you can actually play football. But then when they get the attitude, the application, and the whole thing about to play for a club like Rangers, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. Because some of our greatest players haven't been the best football players, but they've had the character, had the strength, and they've had that about them that they want to win. You know, so there's a whole host of things. I believe that these Americans will deliver. Maybe not with this team that they've got in place now, the management structure, but they'll not let it go on for so long because they've got their reputation and they've got the money that they've put up at stake. They've never come into the Rangers to fail. They come into the Rangers to be a success, so they'll not let it run. But I think we've actually got a chance on Sunday of beating them because they're a very, very poor team. And if we do beat them, that's it at 3 points. And then who knows what can happen after that. And some of the things that I see with our supporters, where there's a thing on, would you take a defeat on Sunday so as we can get rid of the manager? I've never ever thought that the Rangers were getting into any game and going to get beat. Because if I thought they were going to get beat, I wouldn't even bother about going to see them or supporting them or nothing. Every game that I've thought the Rangers going to, I see the Rangers winning it. And there's certainly no any game that I hope they don't win it. So where's the support? Well, what is it that I think about now? To me, it's just a shame, you know. But there will be change, but it'll be driven by the fans and it'll be driven by the owners. But the owners will not let the fans dictate to them. And that's right, because there's no company that MD works for where the workers, you know, you don't have the tail wagging a duck. That doesn't work, you know. But I think the success will come, and it has to start somewhere. But I think this guy's well in over his depth, like this, whatever his name is, Martin.
Can I ask you a question, Jimmy? Did you think that before he got the job, or do you think that now? Having watched it,
I thought the people that were in for the job was very poor. I thought it was just like the owners when they said, well, you know, the new owners coming in. There wasn't a queue of people waiting to buy the Rangers. Same as when you go back to Murray's days. There wasn't a queue of people waiting to buy the Rangers. That's how far we've came. We're not the attraction that we once were. We're not a dominant force in British football. And we're just also runs in Scottish football. We're not a dominant force in Scottish football now. And we've not been for years. Fair enough, we won 55. But I've got my own opinions on that COVID helped us, and that guy at Celtic, whatever his name is, Lennon, he helped us and all. But no, I don't, we're only one trophy ahead of St Johnstone. So when people are talking about this great Rangers and how brilliant we are, the club's great, the institution's great, and what we used to stand for is great. But sadly, that's no longer the case. Our own fans aren't even united. When you've got polls saying, would it mean the manager gets sacked if we get beat? Would we go for that one? What is that about?
Listen, mate, I don't get that. I've never, when you used to have the dogs playing at the Kelvin Hall when the circus, mate, and you had the boy and green ones, you always want the boy to win, didn't you?
It's just, I just don't understand that. I can understand the anger and I can understand the frustration, particularly among the young team who've never seen a successful Rangers team or never seen a winning team. But there's nobody at any age group. I mean, there's a family that sits in front of me, and sadly the oldest one died last season there. And he went right back to, so if I go back to Simon, he went right back to Struth. And I said to him, who was the greatest manager you've seen? And he said, Souness. Because Souness was the one that changed it all in. Just the same as when Gerrard came in, he was in the process of changing it all in. But he wasn't that great. I mean, he never done anything in the Cups. And he won the 55, unbeaten and all the rest of it. But because it was during COVID, there was no crowds there, and because Lennon imploded and all the rest of it, then you think, well, and he couldn't get out of the place quick enough. So, it makes me ask myself more questions than answers. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but I have faith and I have belief in these American owners. Because, as I say, I can't see them pumping in money, taking the Rangers on and risking their reputation just to fail. I don't think that will happen. I think they'll succeed one way or the other, whether it's for this guy or Ball. I mean, if we were to take a heavy defeat on Sunday, then he'll be away right away, But I don't know. The players we've got, all young guys, all inexperienced, throwing them into a European game like that against Bruges, I mean, the writing was in the wall in the friendlies. Bruges, they were 2, what was it? They were 2-0 up, I think, the friendly. And then they took their feet off the gas, we come into it. And the friendlies were just like wrestling matches anyway. Same with that other mob, Bruges at Middlesbrough, whoever it was we played. Another 2 each shot. We were getting hammered. Always getting hammered. Bruges could have wiped the Flairways at Ibrox when it was 3-0. But they took their feet off the gas. Same as the other night there when it was 6-0. They took their feet off the gas. But it will change. It will change.
Icky.
Aye, well said, Jimmy. A lot of honesty there in what you're saying, pal. We're hurting, we're all hurting. But keep saying it, our eyes don't deceive us. We know what we're watching and we don't like what we're watching. But you're speaking a lot of honesty there, Jimmy. Blind faith, aye. I'm the same as you. I think we're all. It's not in our mentality to go into a game where we're looking to get beat just so as we can remove our manager and prove ourselves right. I mean, what sort of mentality? Where are we going as a club? Where are we going as a support? That's not very supportive. But it's you're right. What was his choices? Russell Martin or David Ancelotti? Not exactly good choices between the two of them. A novice and a guy who's no used to success. But this is where we are as a club, and we're sliding down the standards and everything before our very eyes, and it's very hard for us to accept it.
Can I ask Jimmy a quick question before we go to the tune? Jimmy, would your preference be a Scottish manager? Just your individual preference?
I just want a manager that's going to win. If the guy came from Mars, I couldn't care less.
You couldn't care less. Would it matter if he was a green man from Mars?
As long as you could. Well, the days of that are done. I mean, the Rangers men sell the club to a lot of Shuttlersons for America. So if you became a dominant Scottish club that had one faith and one crown and you know the rest. And now we're an American club owned by Shettlesons. So it was like Morris Johnson when he signed, you know. It's the same thing. I've seen us transitioning for a club where the support, the directors, the players, everybody, all singing for the same hymn sheet, all the one mob, and we were successful. I mean, you've got to remember, we've been in 5 European finals and only won one of them. So that one, that's not a good record. That's not a good record. More so when you consider we were in European competition year after year after year. Fair enough, that time when we played Bruges and then Marseille, or whatever it's called, Marseille with Tappy, there was a bit of ambiguity and a bit of dodgy dealing going on with that, you know. But what record isn't great? And the fans that say, just the same as when you see the programmes and you see the things at Ibrox, runners-up and all that, I would have all that taken off. All we're interested in is winners. Runners-up doesn't matter, you know. It's winning it. It's winning. It's only if you take that cup game, that's what matters. All the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right, we're going to have a tune, mate. It's quite poignant. Get yourself in mute. Maybe later. Get yourself in mute because we're going to have a tune.
Well, I took a trip to Ibrox, my favourite team for to cheer, where they were playing the Glasgow Celtic on the first day of the year. Now the ground was filled to capacity as the teams come out to play. The animals sang the soldiers' song, and the people sang Dolly Gray. Now half-time it came and went on. The Glasgow Celtic were in the lead. Finian Tully was rounding everywhere, shaking his rosary beads, while the green flags, they were flying high. Celtic hearts were full of pride. The second half, sure it started, and the Rangers, they turned the tide. Won't you play up the Glasgow Rangers? Oh, play up the boys in blue. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. We're here to cheer for you. Now the ball goes out to Waldo, and from 30 yards he did score. Sure you couldn't hear your ears at Ibrox Park, for the sash my father wore. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. Sammy Cox is on the ball. He slips it through to Willie Woodbarn, then on through to Ian McCall. McCall to Billy Simpson. Oh, here come the boys in blue. Well, Simpson beats the Celtic centre half, and then goes number 2. Now the Rangers fans are roaring. Jardine Young, he takes a free onto the head of William Simpson, and then goes number 3. Well, it's 3-1 for the Rangers. That was the final score. A happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Fenians once more.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Good tune, that. AKA, good tune.
Oh, one for the Williams, that. Jimmy, you would have enjoyed that, Ian.
Aye, but all that's another sad thing when you look at that internet. It's showing photos of, you know, all the past heroes and all that.
Jimmy,
the young people,
we don't want
the
to know
young
about the
people,
photos you're looking on the internet, mate. That's a different show altogether.
the young people have got no heroes. You know what I mean? The young people haven't got, you know, all our hussies had sort of John Gregg, Shearer, Calder, McMullen, Muller, all these people, and then Colin Steen, all these folk up in the boys and the hussies that we all went into, granddads, uncles, brothers, all that. They photos were up in the boys, and no in the bedrooms, in the living rooms. But the folk nowadays, where have they got? Empty. You know, there was a thing there that was showing you, like Sandy Jardine, John Gregg, and I can't mind the other ones that was in the photo. You know, they're people that will go on and in your memories and in your head for the whole of your life. I can't tell you the Rangers team from one week to the other, who they are and what they are. Other than like Tavernier's been there forever, and he's got 3 medals to his name, which is three more than most of them. You know, it's just shocking.
Mm-hmm. Did Colin Steen only win 1 medal with our club? Is that right, Ali? I'm just trying to remember.
Aye, Colin Steen had very little. Colin Steen was, I think he won a league. No, he never won a league cup. He won a European Cup Winners' Cup. It was.
Aye. Did they
I
play
don't think he
when
won a
Derek
league
Johnson
cup.
scored the winner? Did they play when DJ scored the winner? I'd need to check that out.
I think he might have had a league cup medal, but he's no. He never, even the one when he scored the equaliser when he come back for Coventry at Easter Road to make it one each. He never played enough games, so no, he never got a league medal. But I think you'll find him. He maybe only get 2, maybe a 1 league cup and maybe a hangman. But that again was a fix and all, because that was that guy for Celtic. He was when that Eddie Mulheron at Clyde got him sent off and they get banned for all that time. That was him that was in the Celtic, whatever he was, on the SFA committee, and they gave him the big ban for that. And that was him ruled out for the whole end of that season. And we were right in the league, right up to that bit. And then it all started to fall away, because that was the first time Colin Steen was rattling in the goals right, left and centre. So even then we were getting done and dirty with that SFA and all that mob of the parkade, you know. Same as that Lowell and all the rest of these characters, you know. That's a weakness we've got, but that's something that's not been addressed for a long, long time. We're not represented in all these things, mate. It's just so sad when you see it all.
Well, we have to get our structures back, and it's not going to happen overnight. And maybe the trouble is we have took steps forward during the last decade, but there has been times where we've also took maybe a step and a half backwards, if that makes sense. Okay, and this 3 month feels a bit like that, you know.
Oh, aye, it definitely does. I mean, mentally, it feels as if we've been back further than, like, say, the Kashinya days. And oh my God, I don't want to go there again if can be helped. But it looks like it. But listen, this is what we've got. Albert, the wise Albert, said last year, "Be careful what you wish for when you're ousting all these Rangers men out of the boardroom, and force them to sell up their shares." And Douglas Parton, Dave King, John Gilligan, John Bennett, you know, and this is what we've got. They've got 51% of the club, so they can basically do what they want. And it's aye. I don't know what it is though, Jimmy and Ox. The dressing room that we've got now, it wasn't exactly a winning dressing room that our managers came into, you know. We weren't exactly thriving and winning trophies. We won nothing last year. So there's obviously mental fragility. Billy Dodge spoke about it, that only 30% of the dressing room had the right mental attitude to fill the jerseys. So 70% of that dressing room that they thought had to get cleared out. So I think this is what Martin's idea is, but obviously he's probably expecting us to be at least 6 or 7 points out of the 9 we've got already. And Ox is right, that's where the pressure comes from. Because we've not performed well, because we've not picked up the amount of points that we should have, this is it starting to gather momentum negatively. But that dressing room is needed gutted out for long enough, and we've always wanted a strong manager to come in there with the gonads to do it. But a lot of them haven't been given the time or opportunity to do it. Anyway, you've got a caller there, Ox.
Evening, Tommy.
Hello, Ox. How are you?
All the better for hearing your dulcet tones.
Love that last guy, by the way, Ox. Everything he said was brilliant.
He's still here, Jimmy. Jimmy's
I
still
thought
here.
everything Jimmy said was brilliant, Ox. Everything he said was brilliant.
He's a top man here, Jimmy.
Well, everything he said is true, Ox. Everything he says is true. I mean, I'm like you, Ox. Well, I mean, I listen to is it AK? What they're saying, I mean, what gets me is that Kevin Thurwell, they're not chucking Martin under the bus, Ox. They're chucking him under the bus. And he gets it right, he gets it wrong. And then like the press conferences, the last year for PLZ Soccer, we all know who she supports. Tom English, we all know who he supports. Why are they not interfering and saying, why are they inviting these people into Rangers press conferences, Ox? Know where the loyalties lie. It just annoys me. I just annoys me. They're chucking this guy under the bus, and I still think he'll get to the end of September, Ox, because I think if they lose against Hearts and Hibs, and that could call it a day.
I think the problem you've got, mate, when you get this, it doesn't give me any pleasure in saying this, and I'll let Jimmy come in. Once you get to this scenario and it happens so quickly, it's only going to go one way, right or wrong way. And my mate Albert, I don't disagree with him that there's no sense in sacking managers, but sometimes you've also got to admit that you've made a mistake. And at the moment, this looks like a mistake. Now, whether the mistake is directly at Martin or there's other factors at play that he's not recruiting the players, he's getting them and he's not getting anything near like he wants. I'm no party all that, but you've just got to be it only ends in one way, and that's what football history teaches you. You might have a fluke, Jimmy, and somebody might turn it around, but I think it's highly unlikely. Jimmy, you can come back in it.
No, when I say I think we'll win on Sunday, I thought we'd get a result in Belgium. You know what I mean? I thought we'd win. I didn't think we'd score 3 goals without reply, but I thought we might have a wee 2-1 at the worst a draw. You know what I mean? I didn't think we were going to knock them out because they're a good team, like, you know. But I think realistically, I think realistically there is a chance against the Celtic because they're far from a good team, Celtic. You know what I mean? If we go out and the players play and get a goal, because we never seem to go out and get a goal and then get another one and then go in for air. We seem to wait till it's sort of too late and then it's back to the wall stuff. Which a lot of things, Martin said that the players are scared to play. They're nervous wrecks. But once they go behind and once they're getting beat, then they've got nothing to lose. So they just go for it. And you know, they maybe get a draw out of it. Whereas if they just went for it to start with, who knows what can happen. You know, and that's a mental thing. It's all to do with their head. You know, it's all to do with how they think, their confidence and all the rest of it. When you look at all our great players years ago, your Gascoignes and Laudrups, they never had a problem with confidence. Davy Cooper, you know, they just knew they were going out to win. You know, it was just a case of how many they were going to win with. their whole body language, their whole way about it. It was just the win was taken for granted. It was just a case of how many they were going to win by. But this mob they knew, you think they would, some of them would struggle to get their boots on, never mind kick a ball with them. The way they're sort of hooping about. But it's just so sad to see it. But as I say, it doesn't take much to turn it, because when Mob the first time, they were flying, and then he was in the car crash on the M74. Well, it was A74 at that time, along with Tony Queen. Then that changed it. Fallon took over and the Rangers come into it again. The Rangers started winning. So there's lots of wee things that can happen. You can't make the assumption that everything's going to stay the same at Parkhead. You've got to watch the Hearts coming up. You've got to watch the Hibs team, who were, whether you like them or no, they were quite unlucky last night or the other night earlier, They're good teams that's coming up. So they're going to pose a bigger threat to us than they did last season. So they're the teams that we need to watch. When you looked at the start of the season this year, when the fixtures all come out, I had as well in front. And then if we beat the Celtic as well, I said, we'll be well in front by that time. But the way the fixtures has worked out, it's not turned out that way. I mean, we've played nobody. St Mirren, Dundee and Motherwell. They're hardly sort of teams that you'd say, well, we need to watch ourselves there. They're teams that you're taking 9 points with under normal circumstances. More so with the new owners or the momentum and the players. It's not worked out that way. And then when you're talking about Tavernier and managers and all that, it's all right saying we'll change, but you've got to change for the better. If you're going to replace somebody, you've got to replace them the better. Now, that guy, Max Aarons, I mean, they're all saying it. I mean, all my family are English, and my grandson says, oh, he's a player and all that. But he's not a player when I look at him. Far from it. Certainly not a fullback or a Rangers fullback. I don't really know what he is, And he's certainly no a step up for Tavernier. So
can I just say, Jim? Can I just say that if you look at Motherwell, right, half of that team at Motherwell, they're not even Scottish. Some of the team at Dundee are not Scottish. They've signed people that want to play for the club. Motherwell's not a bad side, and that coach they've got is a good coach. I mean, do we not take these sort of clubs that are going to beat them every week? I mean, if you look at Motherwell, they're not a bad side. Not a bad team. They've got some good, decent players.
Good teams, The gauge is always your international team. If you're talking about, we'll make it all Scottish and we'll do this and we'll do that. So if the international team is no use, and you've got to be whatever it is, Scottish, or your granny's got to be Scottish, or your uncle or something like that. But if the international team is poor, which it is, very poor, then you say, well, where are we going to get all these Scottish players that's going to turn us into a great, because there's a difference between saying we want a Scottish background to saying we want a Blue Nose background. We want folk that used to play in bands, which we've just got rid of, one to Greece or Turkey or wherever he's away to, along with Golson and all the rest of them. I think it's Cyprus or something like that he's away to. Him that used to stay in the Copeland Road that's playing with Motherwell now. Is it Halliday? All these players are all fine and good, but they're still no good enough for us. Their heart's in the right place. The place is 50,000 people every second week, or 48,000 or whatever it is. But you can't say to one of them, just get a jumper on and away you go. Because you love the club and support the club, doesn't mean to say you're going to be a football player.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. I mean, look at this season, right, Jim? There's Dundee United, right? If you look at their squad, how many Scottish players are in that squad? I mean, if you look at Dundee, I'm just talking Dundee United. How many Scottish-based players are in their team?
Maybe that's a debate for maybe another night, mate. But look at the mess at Scottish.
Oh,
football.
sorry, Ox.
No, but no, not at all. Not at all, Tommy. What I'm saying is maybe it's a debate for another night, because the mess that Scottish football's got itself into, mate, led by one organisation. What's happened, and what's happened with the competitions, what's happened with the interest, what's happened with the sponsorships, what's happened with the standards, what's happened with the refereeing, what's happened with the playing surfaces, what's happened with some of them with the crowds.
I'm not being funny, Ox. I'm not being funny, Ox. I got to Paphos most years, and we were over the moon. Paphos in the Champions League. Champions League group stages, we're going to be playing Chelsea and all these other teams. What a great thing for Paphos, Ox. I'm looking forward to going again in October with me and my missus. We might get to see a Champions League game in Paphos, Ox. I mean, it's brilliant that Paphos, a wee team like Paphos, are in the Champions League group stage.
Well, I know, and it's going to get harder for the Scottish clubs. AK, it's going to get harder, and some of these disasters will come around more often.
Oh, definitely. We've been left behind financially, haven't we? You just see it right across Europe, and it's only now that the Neil Doncaster is and the rest of the cronies, the high hegians at the UEFA, are beginning to realise. Look at the winners, the consistent winners across every country, the continent, who's qualifying, and it's all because of the root causes, the money. You know, the money's monopolised England, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Portugal. You know, you can look at all the winners because they get their wee bit of chicken feed for the Champions League, just to even make up numbers. It's the rest of the Scottish clubs is, I believe, the Aberdeen chairman was on Talk Sport the other day, believe it or not. I don't know if you heard him, but he was actually saying it was terrible for Scottish football that Rangers and Celtic are letting down the coefficient because the other clubs are not getting their 600,000 payoff. Rangers have been carrying the coefficient. And Celtic, I seen a stat there where since the turn of the century, they've had 19 attempts to qualify for the Champions League and only managed it 7 times. You know,
Do you remember
and
that,
most of the automatic qualifications is on the back of us winning the coefficient points.
Well, do you remember that then,
David access to the finances.
Doesn't
You
work
know.
if you. Sorry, Tommy, it doesn't work if you're.
No, no worries.
Sorry,
No,
no, on you go. Sorry.
No, it's
I was
not
just
a
going.
problem.
I was just going to say, AK, he's the only team to be knocked out of the competition 3 times in 1 year. The Champions League, into the Europa League, and straight out of the Conference League. Who's that team?
Yep.
Sorry, Ox, on you go.
No, not at all. Aberdeen never covered themselves in glory. Difficult tie for them. They got a difficult tie. You know. Was
that not the team? Ox, was that not the team we beat 5-0 at Ibrox last year? They played Stoya Bucharest, wasn't it?
Stoya Bucharest, quite correct. Okay. Stoya Bucharest, we murdered them. Although the big decisions went against them last night, didn't they? I mean, I'm not being funny, but I mean, I watched the game and the big decision went against them. I mean, this is what's wrong with this VAR. I mean, that's a penalty. God help us. You know, I mean, if you watch, I mean, I just love watching football, AK, and that's never a penalty kick in a million years.
I read about it. I've not seen it, mate. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it.
It was a shock.
Yes, mate.
Jimmy said something there in his spiel that the Rangers players look as if they're playing with fear, right? And I agree with him because the manager spoke about that. Where's that fear coming from? Is it the manager that they don't want to let them down? That the instructions, there's no plenty instructions, or is it the crowd?
I think it's the crowd.
Mate, I think we've got a combination of a lot of things. Yeah, if I'm honest, we've got tactics that at times look naive, in my opinion, and I'll let Jimmy come in. He has to, because he's watched it the same as me. We've got players who aren't quite maybe ready for the weight of the jersey and think they are, and thought they were when they come up for England. Not the first time that's happened. We've got a new group of players that generally, for most teams, to get to a level takes time. And then you've got the impatience of the support and the demands of the support where they felt like let down because of the performance at Motherwell in day one. Now we understand that we come back for a European trip and things will be difficulty, but that let the pressure at the balloon for the first game of the season. So they might have got away with that if they went and beat Dundee, and then obviously went and sneaked a one against St Mirren. Would have been sitting with 7 out of 9. Motherwell would have been forgot about. But that started the pressure, mate. And you add all these things in together, tactics, which comes from the manager, coaching staff, etc. Players, setup, players know plenty form or as good as they can be. There's a combination of everything running through there. There's no just one thing wrong. Jimmy?
I think a lot to do with the character of the player. A lot of young guys. They've asked that guy that came in the fullback here, and he said, "What made?" They ask him the same questions. What made you pick your Rangers and all that? Obviously, they're not going to say, "Well, that was the only offer I had on the table, and it was the best money, so that's how I took them," which was probably the truest answer. But they're saying, "Oh, it's a big club and all that." But half of them will have never been to Ibrox, only seen a few games on the telly, don't know anything about it. Then they suddenly get there, see the ground, see the training setup, see the whole thing, all the pictures on the wall, see all the trophies. And then when they go out there, they're expected to win every game. Whereas very few of them will have been at clubs where they're expected to win every game. And then very few of them will have been first-team players in the teams that they were playing for. Because if they were first-team players in the teams that they were playing for, then the Rangers wouldn't be able to get them. We're getting players that nobody else wants. The team, there's players that's available, even the loan players. It's not as if we're getting the finished articles. And then all the young players that used to come into our teams, they were getting brought into successful teams with proven players running about them. We've no go at that now. So we're throwing in young guys and looking for them. The boy that scores the goal, Curtis, they're looking for him to come on and get a goal as if he's our only hope. The young boy that came from Dundee there, plays a few games. When Thingley come back into the team, when Barron come into the team, it's a few good games. So we're putting that big weight of expectation onto young guys, and they can't maintain it because the rest of the team aren't that good, and because it doesn't matter what happens as long as they win. That's all that the fans are interested in. There's a lot of pressure there for people, and it's something it's unrealistic, really. Because they're asking so much, and then this manager, he's got this way of playing out for the back all the time, and then pressing forward. Whereas, sometimes if they just hit the long ball up over the top and let them run onto it, they might have miss out the whole thing. They might have a better chance of success. Because if you look at some of the goals that we've scored in the biggest games, a lot of it's just been a punt up the park, and the forwards chasing it. We get the second ball and hit it into the net. Very seldom is it all fancy football. And we've not got the players for that. He's getting a pattern, a style of play that's right out of textbook, right for training manuals when they get all these badges and all that. But there's very, very few teams that's got the players that can do that at the highest standard. They're taking a perfect model and saying, this is what we want to do. But you're not going to do that with the players because they've not got the ability and they've not got the skill. They might get it, but by the time they do get it, their confidence is eroded and they're shattered because they tried their best, they got abuse, they get booed, they get substituted, they get taken off, all these things that knock their confidence because a lot of it is confidence. And it's hard to get confidence in the Rangers team now, the way they're all performing. It's hard to build that up in young players and say, look, out you go and do what you want. Because the manager's got a different idea altogether. And I don't know what all that background team that he's got. When you look at the bench, they're about as interested as flying air. They're either sitting laughing or they're looking at wee Xbox screens or whatever they're looking at. They're not very, it's not as if they can change things or do anything. They just wait and they're just reacting to things, which is completely crazy to me,
Modern football, Jimmy. Yeah?
But it's horses for courses. It's horses for courses. Sometimes when you're playing that way, if you look at the teams that's a success, they just say, right, just go in and get in about them, and you'll break all that up. All the time the Celtic beat us. It's the same, but last season we had success against the Celtic because we had a way of playing against them, and it was quite successful. But the problem now is all the players that brought that success against them will get shot at them. So now we're starting afresh with a lot of new guys, and you just got to hope that they can cope with that pressure, because that pressure will go on. I don't think he'll come here at Ibrox and sit back. I think he'll be going for the jugular right away.
Aye, he'll. If I was him, I would I would do everything to try and get an early goal, mate. That's how I would set that game up. Yeah, you're right, and you're also right. And if we were to get a result at the weekend, mate, that'll be over a calendar year since they beat us in 90 minutes, mate.
Aye,
yeah,
aye.
the
And that
stats are
could
starting to swing the other way.
That could easily happen. If that Martin guy says to them, look, this was the last time that they actually done anything against us, so you're not playing against world beaters here. And that's the team that went away to this mob in whatever it was, Kazakhstan or whatever it's called, and they couldn't beat them with 2 games. And it's a team that nobody's ever heard of, and nobody's likely to hear it again. So, I think we've got a good chance, and I think things could start to change, and hopefully for the better. It's not to say that this guy's going to be a wonderful manager or anything like that, but things have to start to change sometime. It'll not go in the way it will. And then if the worst came to the worst, the owners, in my belief, will step in and change it as well. But I think happy days are ahead. I know it's hard to see the now, but I honestly believe that. Anyway, lads, I'll need to say good night to you, because it even gets too depressing for me listening to some of the things that goes on about the Rangers. But everything will come all right. It will come all right. I've got no doubt about that. And I just want to see these young people going to see the Rangers, that Union Bears people and all that. I want to see them going to see a team that's winning and been successful and having heroes that they can have 40s up in the wall the same way as I've got 40s. I've still got the 40s up in the wall now. Are they people that used to worship the legends or that, Nowadays we've got people that nobody's ever heard of, it's just crazy. But that has to change, and it will change for the sake of the players as well. Because these players can become legends. These players can make a name for themselves. These players can go down to England or go anywhere they want and make it fortunes. But they have to start winning trophies to start with the Rangers and Scottish football. Everything has to start somewhere. And I'm hoping that it starts again this Sunday against that mob. Anyway, lads, I'll say good night. Take care and God bless. All right, cheerio.
Cheers,
Jimmy.
What a man. I hope he's right. Yeah. It's very realistic, but I hope he's right, AK, yeah.
Oh, definitely. You can tell his voice is hurting. He's seen a lot of successful teams, but he's obviously seen our lean years as well, but always believed there was a chink of light on the other side, and let's hope it's there. I think we all thought once we'd won 55 under Gerrard, that was the dark days over, but the big dark clouds have appeared again, and we need to blow them away as soon as we can.
Can we have Gordon out there in New Zealand, and also, wait a minute, this will be a good one, Bolger for Kazakhstan. We don't seem to be able to get these back on the line. We think it's something to do with our new setup and international calls. So we'll try and resolve that, yeah. But Gordon, we're not ignoring you, mate. We're working to see if we can get a holiday. And Bolger for Kazakhstan, that's a first, mate. That's a first, yeah.
Very nice.
That's the first. Talking about first, mate. You know where this is gone, don't you? Right. This would be an ideal opportunity for Southside to get the Super 6 up. He's not with us tonight. He's left his selections in the capable hand of our AK. So AK, please, for the punters, let's have Southside Super 6.
No bother. Right, no intro tonight music-wise, so it's straight for the bat. Right, his first selection is Doncaster, and that's an early kick-off. If you don't want to include it, I've got another one I can add to it.
Oh, just give us Southside Super 6. It's no Kelly's.
Oh, right, okay.
Right.
Doncaster, early kick-off.
He's an idiot with the early kick-off, right? Because he can be beat before it starts, but
I know.
his choice, yeah.
Right, Doncaster, Spurs, Everton, Coventry, Leyton Orient, and Cambridge, and that comes for 35-1. I'll give that again. It's Doncaster, and it's an early kick-off. Spurs, Everton, Coventry, Leyton Orient, Cambridge. Good luck with that.
And Doncaster's the early kick-off, is it?
Doncaster's an early kick-off. He's obviously no noticed that, Ox.
Right. That's 2-1. There's somebody asked who they're playing, mate. There you go. Have you got that information in front of you? Are we going to have to look it up?
Nope. He didn't give me that information. He just gave me the winning teams.
Very slack with his work, isn't he? Very slack with his work.
Oh, very, very, very. Yep. Aye. He's no caring anymore, doesn't it?
He's not known for his work ethic, mate. Yeah, you know.
Very, very unprofessional.
Yeah, he's not only letting himself down. Well, he's let us all down for years, isn't he? Really, with a Southside.
Ladbrokes is thankful for the donations.
35-1. I'll have a go as normal, mate. Hopefully it starts. Let's everybody get a few quid for the weekend, mate. And at least enjoy themselves. Yeah, all right.
Yep. Aye, good luck with that if you follow it.
All right. Can you post that on social media? Some people are always asking for it, yeah?
Aye, sure, no bother.
There you go. There you go, Tommy. You put a tenner on that, you'll end up... you put a tenner on that, you'll end up with nothing, mate.
I gather that.
Tommy, if you're Tommy and you're the owners that's flying in, what's your thinking, mate?
Well, the problem it's like AK was saying. Is he the only guy that wanted the job? And so they all go on about Stephen Gerrard, Ox. Makes me laugh. They all going about Stephen Gerrard. Gerrard didn't want the job, Ox. He didn't want to come back. Why do we keep on going on about Gerrard? They didn't want to come back. So if Russell Martin had the interviews that they all say he had, they obviously see something, Ox. I still think he'll get to the end of September, Ox. I believe he'll get to the end of September.
If he's getting to the September weekend, they may as well get rid of him, if I'm honest. Yeah.
I think the Hearts and Hibs.
His time span. If that's the time span, he might as well take the September.
Well, I think the Hearts and Hibs games are the big defining points, Ox. If they get anything out of the two Hearts and Hibs games, then they could be different. I still think they'll win on Sunday, Ox. I think they'll win Sunday. I've never said Rangers will lose a game, Ox. I've never ever said that Rangers will lose a game.
No, I get that, mate. I get that.
And I think they win. Ox, they're not playing well. Don't get me wrong. They're not playing well at the minute, Ox. They're not playing well. But you like to think this guy obviously. I mean, they must have seen. They must have seen something. These guys are not stupid, Ox. Come on, you know that as well as anybody. These guys that are in the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers people, they're not stupid. The guy from Leeds United, that pair, whatever his name, they're not stupid people, Ox. They're not daft. They gave them the job.
No.
It's not working at the minute, but they must see something. I mean, when Rangers got up there the other night, right, they must have thinking, fucking hell, what have we done? But they've made a decision. Sorry, Ox. They made a decision to give this guy the job. they're going to stand by him for the new. And the only thing that gets me, Ox, is this Kevin Farewell. Why is he not coming into these press conferences and backing him up?
I don't think, I personally, I mean, in their cases, it's different for me. I don't think he should. It's the manager's job, yeah.
But is he a manager, though, Ox? Is he a manager? Is he not just the head coach? He never signed any of them players, Ox. He never signed them. Farewell signed them.
But don't think that Walter signed all the players that he got, mate.
But that was on the Rangers. That wasn't on your show, Ox. But that was the classic interview with Walter Smith. That Dick, whatever his name is, talking about Basil Bowley and Brian Robert when he was saying they're only good players. And he absolutely slaughtered them. It's like the Jimmy was saying, you know, we've done nothing since we won 55 Ox. Gerrard never won a trophy. Won the league and like because the Muppet across the road helped us. But I mean, it's beggars belief, Ox. It's just beggars belief. Just people would get behind it.
Mate, everything comes down to recruitment, and we have wasted so much money and so many players who haven't even been close to delivering. You know, not even close to delivering.
I just hope the manager's got a pair of them below Ox and he plays Tavernier on Sunday. Tavernier is 100% Rangers.
If you're asking me if I would play Tavernier or Max Aarons, it'd be Tavernier all day long, mate, in that position.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, Ox.
I don't see Max Aarons at the moment. At the moment, AK stranger things have happened, but I don't see him. I think it's. I don't think I think he looks as if he's struggling for confidence, and also he's struggling for physicality in every game we watch. AK, huh?
Yeah, aye. That's one of the players I think Jimmy's on about, where he looks as if he's shrinking in the jersey. He's disappearing in front of you. That comes down with confidence. It comes down with character, and you've got to embrace it and don't hide. Don't hide on the park. Don't be feared to take your man. Don't be feared to make a challenge. Sometimes just crunching into somebody can get the crowd going and gets yourself going, you know. But that all comes down to recruitment, as Ox is saying there. Young guys coming into our club, big expectations. You've got to rely on the experienced guys round about them to kind of cajole them and talk them through games. And it doesn't look as if anybody's communicating with anybody on the part where they should be, just to keep things tight, you know.
Does that not annoy you the way, AK? I mean, that Rothwell, right? He's come from Leeds United. Now, I mean, they're not a bad side, and he played well in the Leeds United side. Well, why? I mean, look, against, I thought even against St Mirren, he was half the pace. He didn't look as if he was interested. There's something wrong somewhere, AK. There's just something wrong somewhere that these players are not.
He doesn't even look fit.
No, exactly.
He doesn't even, talking about people who always look fit. We'll be joined by Kilmarnock. Evening, Kilmarnock.
Good evening, lads. Yeah, got on nights before the big game, so I'm no. Aye, obviously, come kick-off, we'll all gone mad, weren't we, in Ibrox, looking for blood off them. But the state of that defence looks like Raskin's away as well, and I think I'm sorry I keep on calling him a clown, but he is a clown. He's destroying the team. He's bringing in all these other ones, or he's getting getting told that that's his players, but he's just incapable of organising a defence. You know, we've got Suter. Suter's a third choice at best, isn't he? Yeah, he's meant to be the main man, and it's just incredible. Yeah, I'm still hoping we can sneak a 1-0 win because they're poor, but
can you see us? I mean, I don't think it'll be a 1-0 game, mate. Does that make sense?
It won't be a 1-0 game.
Due to your defence, but they're no two great shapes either for scoring wise.
I don't think it'll be a 1-0 game. both ends, mate, if that makes sense. Dunmarnock. I hope you're right,
Aye.
mate. I'd take that all day long. Yeah, I don't care what the score is
Aye.
if we beat them, no.
Yep. But as I say, it's win, lose or draw. I think it needs to go. I think if we do get a win, think positive that we're going to beat them, and it's down to 3 points, and then it's an international break in it, and I don't think we're back to Hearts, whatever it is, a week later. So it gets a state execution. But again, he needs to win the next 3 games, doesn't he? Really, beat them, keep in contentions of the league.
Can I just say, Dalmarnock, this San Francisco 49ers board ain't going to get rid of him. They're not going to get rid of him. They see him as a man. They put him in place, and they're not going to get rid of him unless there's something that dastardly happens. They're not going to get rid of him. It's not going to happen. We can all shout, we can all do what we want. They're not going to get rid of this guy. He was the only candidate, from what we can see, that wanted the job. So if the Rangers fans can tell me who else wanted that job, maybe Ferguson wanted the job, but who else wanted the job?
Just because he's a bad manager doesn't think they're not going to make a decision. They will get rid of him because Ibrox, if we were to get beaten Sunday, nobody's going to go to Ibrox against Hearts. That stadium will be half empty. And it'll keep being empty until they move them on. And at some point, they need to turn around and realise that they've messed it up. And that's, to me, if you're an owner, it shows you a business acumen. If you turn around and go, I've made a big mistake here. We need to cut our losses, get rid of them. We need to bring somebody else in. And it's not to us fans to find a manager. It's back to them who's made the mistake. And I know people weren't queuing up to get in the door, but I do believe that he will get rid of him, and he'll be away in September.
Well, I think that don't want to go can give their fans that want to go. Give your tickets to people who want to watch the Rangers that can't get a ticket. There's plenty of people who can't get a ticket who watch Rangers play.
There was 8,000 empty seats at the Bruges game at Ibrox, mate. Anybody that wanted to go to that game had a chance. There was over 20,000 empty seats against Alloa for anybody who says they can't get a ticket to take their kids and families along. Yeah, there was seats empty at the Dundee game. There was seats empty at the Dundee game.
I can't see this board getting rid of him, Ox. I can't see the board getting rid of him at the minute.
You might be right, Tommy, but what the point of Marnock's saying is, you're then going to get emails on Sunday where you'll be expected to stump up another 120 to 150 quid, yeah, and people might not take that option up. So all of a sudden you might have 30,000 instead of 45,000 taking that option up. That then becomes a lot of capital, and that makes people who have got business.
That'll make them think, Knox. That'll make them think.
I'm not advocating that that's what people do, but that's the reality of where we are. Mate, I'll take my tickets. Southside will take kids. Stevie will take kids. Bridge will take kids. Yeah, right. But the thing about it is that the reality is that some people, for different reasons, it might be that because of where we are, they just can't justify the extra expense. And who am I to judge people's circumstances, AK? But that's the reality.
If you were to put
you're right.
Tommy, just wait.
Tommy.
When you go.
When you go.
I know you're excited, Tommy, but just let AK come in. He only gets excited on Friday night. AK.
Listen, in essence, I think Dalmarnock's right. I think you're right, Oxshare, as well. It's not a happy place to go to Ibrox, obviously, because we're not happy with what we're seeing on the park. We're not winning, and we feel as if we should be winning. We should be beating a Motherwell, a Dundee, a St Mirren. You know, even though it was a difficult place for us last year, under probably a better team than what we've got to now, but it's just not a happy environment. So supporters, season ticket holders, every entitlement to don't go. The only thing is, for the commercial point of view, is you're talking about 46,000 season ticket holders, I think, so they're not really going to get hit in the pocket league-wise, but they're going to get hit in the pocket if it goes European-wise, and you're only talking about a 20,000 crowd.
Yes and no, mate, because obviously you've got maybe 3,000 or 4,000 walk-ins who maybe come, or 2,000 or 3,000. They stop coming. Then you don't have the people turning up, so you don't have the same interest in match days at the shop and other kind of revenue. That's the reality when the crowds are down, mate. Yeah, people maybe don't. You're not fighting to get the hospitality because they're not sold out. These are all realities, though, Marnock, aren't they?
Absolutely, and I was at every one of the games that you mentioned there, and so I wouldn't be. I hope it doesn't happen. I just hope we win. You know what I mean? And you'll get us to execution. Then I'll be at the Hearts game. But he needs to start winning. But we've been saying it for so long. We keep saying he needs to sort that defence out. Every set piece, you're worried. You can drive a horse and cart through that midfield. As I say, Racing looks like we've got Slow Joe in the midfield. You know what I mean? Just runs his legs going and doesn't really go anywhere. So it's no looking too good. And in the past, you could turn and go, right, everything's against us. We can still win. But to me, you just look at the shambles that he's assembled, and hopefully we get Majowski tomorrow, and he's a starter. And as I say, the front line look all right, but it's just the organisation of defence in the midfields, just horrific, as I say, hopefully it doesn't come to that, and we get 3 points on Sunday, regardless how we get them. A tap penalty, deflection, just anyway. We'll take that, then we move on for it.
Right.
Then it could be a start of something good.
You're right there, Dominic. I still think this Majowski guy, he could be a real. I mean, he looks a really class player. I'd love to see him. I hope he does come, because I think he really looks a class player. He's going to be played by Aberdeen, and they're furious. He's furious about him coming to Ibrox.
Well. Listen, some news broke obviously today for the club. One of our French players has left the club, Hamza Agaman. So, like everybody who's been part of our club, we wish him all the best, and we'll see if the grass is greener on the other side. I've understood it, maybe a cultural thing. So, a talent, but at the end of the day, he was their mainstay of our team, talented player, and he gave us a memory when he scored that winner at their place, AK. So, he goes. They've always looked at that was going to be the case, mate, and I think the business-wise it made sense, you know, and also if it's true. Just wait a minute, Tommy. Just wait a minute, Tommy. Gonna just if he wanted to go, it's the best thing for all concerned. They care.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He left the club under a dark cloud, obviously. But these circumstances has worked in our favour financially, because what did we buy him for, Ox? Was it 1.7 million, something like that? And he's allegedly leaving for about 10 and a half. So, but I think it's just a cultural thing as well. I think Moroccans and that, they speak French, don't they? So he's going to be in a more comfortable environment, because even now, I think he was still struggling with the language barrier. So he wants to leave, carry on.
I struggle myself, mate. You know. Tom Arnold, your take on
it? He was rank today what he'd done, and I can fully understand why he done it to him, as in Igaman done it to Martin, because he came on the 3 games before it, so there's no excuse that he was the match fit. He's played 3 games, albeit being the second halves. Then he started a guy who's not even a number 9, and you're sitting on the bench. So I can completely understand he's ready. I want you on. And it was unprofessional by Igaman, but I can understand why he's done it. He should have still been on. Whether it made any difference, probably no, because if his heart wasn't in it, he's not going to try. But he should have been trying for the fans rather than the manager. But I can fully understand why he's done it. And as I say, Martin didn't cover himself in glory either. His interview. He did say what he says, as in he told me he wasn't going on, but he could have seen it a different way. So, but he's away, 10.4 million, I think it was, they says. So, some markup, the Yefty money, Yilmaz money. So there's a bit of money there to bring in at least 4 players, half decent players. None of these projects are young boys. We need men, aye.
We need men.
Yep.
Well, I thought we'd won in Joe Rothwell, but at the moment, that's no what. But maybe we'll see what happens at the weekend.
Slow Joe, I'm calling him.
Aye, mate, I don't disagree with you. He doesn't look fit, and it looks as if he's carrying a knock in every game he's played, mate. And he's not done a lot. And I thought he would have been all right, but it's just no panned out, AK here.
Nah, well, so far, it certainly looks that way. I mean, Dalmarnock's calling him Slow Joe. I heard the other day we've got Poundland Pep as manager. I thought that was quite comical at all. But it's no good. I mean,
who writes your script?
No, you anyway.
I know that.
But listen, Leeds, you were thinking big club. You know, he's not going to get overawed. He seemingly had a really good season for them. So I don't know what the problem is there, the underlying problem. Maybe the game's too quick for him. Maybe, you know, he's getting outnumbered in the midfield and he's not coping very well with himself. You don't know what. It just doesn't look good. It looks disjointed. And I'm with you, though, man. That defence is just all the shot. And if we're relying on John Souttar to, you know, keep that going and organise it, he's certainly no Connor Golson. I never thought I would say that.
No, Golson looks a better player than every passing game, if I'm honest, mate. I know it was time. I mean, you know, he's gone a while now, but that's what happens sometimes. We'll see. What's your take on it then, Tommy?
What's that, Ox? Rothwell.
Aye.
I mean, the guy's obviously, he's been about, hasn't he? He's been about. He's played for Leeds and all that, and he talks the talk, but does he walk the walk? At the minute, no.
I don't even know if I've seen him walking. I don't even know if I've seen him walking. It looks even slower than that.
Just some of them no fit to wear the jersey, Ox.
Aye, it's thing, mate. But there was I can't remember the boy's name, and maybe AK. I don't know if it was, might have been myself and Albert it was on, and a lad come on and he was concerned about the signing players for the English Championship, and that was there maybe a market. And at the moment, the boys he's maybe nailed it. The man look at it.
Aye, it's. Yeah, I said that a couple of weeks ago as well. I posted it saying that we were bringing in people from the lower leagues, and people were backing up Martin, going, "Oh, he's winning the Premiership," and the one he's come out, he's a hard lead to get out of. No, you need to be on in the top league, regardless of your circumstances. You still need to go out and put a team out and make yourself hard to beat. But regardless if you're one of these teams coming up like Ipswich and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But I don't know. As I say, onwards to Sunday. Hopefully get 3 points, and this might change our luck because we need it. But anything other than a home wins, it's no good.
Hey, Kate, I can't believe the time of the evening.
Yes, it's there's nobody there to remind you. It's time up.
I just cannot believe it. No, a wee bit of overtime there, mate. Unlucky, weren't we?
Oh, you got that last night. Come on. Fox can't pay you out 2 nights in a row.
Oh, that was with popular demand, mate. Popular demand.
It was good.
I wanted to go. But listen, Tommy, last word for your good self. Always good to hear from you, pal.
There's Ox. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I still think we can do it. I've never said the Rangers team will lose. I've never said we're underdogs, but I think we can. We can beat this mob. It's like I think AK said or Jim said, they're not good. Ox, they're not a good side. So I think we can. I think we can get a result.
I hope you're right. I might be doing your part of the world. I need to go to Goodwood, mate. Yeah.
Oh, you've loved Goodwood, Ox. I go there quite regular. Me and my good lady.
I know, mate. I know it well, mate. Need to look at some cars.
Ox, it's been a pleasure again.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for your call.
Cheers, Tommy.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Dominic, good to hear from you, buddy. Yeah.
Thanks, Ox. Thanks, AK, for having me. And home winning Sunday. They'll be in the stadium, so let's get it up them. Know what I mean? And send them back out East End and Glum, and we can celebrate. Have a glorious Sunday. So
listen,
go on.
At least for the start of the game, put the stuff away and let's get behind the team. That's the concern me a bit, Kilmarnock. Yeah.
Aye, the place will be rocking, minute. Let's be honest, it'll be bouncing, and the team need to come out and respond to that, and take it to them, and show them that they're good enough to wear our jersey, and it's not too heavy for them. And this is their biggest domestic game, so and they're at home, so they've got a chance here to kind of kick the season off, then we're into the Europa League. So let's go for it, Rangers. 3 points.
Cheers, mate. AK.
Cheers, Kilmarnock. You've got to remain optimistic. We're the eternal optimistic support. We've got to be, whether we like it or not. So we've got an opportunity here to exert some pressure onto them. We got a victory there on Sunday. He's under all sorts of pressure. He knows that, because he's trying to put pressure on his board, and the support realise what could happen. We've started the season terribly. We have victory there. All of a sudden, we're only 3 points ahead of them. So there's an opportunity there. Kilmarnock says, go out and fill the jerseys and give something to cheer. Get a first goal, at least, and see where it takes us. But thanks again, Ox, for your time.
Listen, thanks to Jimmy for joining us. Always good to hear from Jimmy. Lisa, first time caller. Great to hear from Lisa. Bubbly and hopeful Lisa's light with a prediction. Thanks to Tommy from Bogner for joining it. Well, the one and only Kilmarnock, and Josh, our good friend Josh, who was trying to get in there later on. We just ran out a bit of time to bring you in, Josh, but always good to hear from you. Maybe we'll speak now, but thanks to everybody for listening. Rangers Radio will be back an hour before the kick-off on Sunday with a pre-match show as we build up to a game against them at Ibrox. Come on, put the pitchforks away and let's get behind our club for a period. Take it away, old schoolboy.
say this day that I must die. Well, I fought that evil band, and I freed my native land. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the antrim glare, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. The antrim glens, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home.
I was on mute there, sorry boys. Keep it going. Keep it going.